So what I'm going to talk to you about this time is I'm actually going to talk a little bit about what is underneath the anger for every person. In my opinion, this is one of the greatest lies and distortions that every human being exists and lives with every day, and a vast majority of people have no idea it's occurring. But when I explain it to you, it'll probably make a lot of sense, and you'll probably go back and think about your experiences, the times when you got angry, and you'll be kind of shocked at how accurate it actually is. So this is kind of how it works. From a developmental standpoint, all human beings neurologically don't have the ability to have abstract thought outside or before the age of, somewhere in the 12 to 14 year range. The prefrontal cortex, this part of the brain, isn't really full developed. It's developing. And one of the things the prefrontal cortex does is it gives the ability for a human being to have abstract thought outside of the self. So things that occur to you aren't always reflective of you. My 2.5-year-old, he basically is a wonderful kid, but like most kids are 2.5, things are a lot about him. It's my, which is completely developmentally normal. As he ages, he will slowly start to get off of that and hopefully become much more engaged in the world and realize the world is more complex than that. Unfortunately, what this means in relation to trauma is that experiences that happen in our early life, we have to make meaning of. We assign a meaning of those experiences to the self. So when a traumatic experience happens to an individual, the individual basically assigns an I statement to themselves about that meaning. And a lot of this is done unconsciously. This is not a conscious thing that you do. It's just more of a subconscious or unconscious process that's kind of below the surface, but nonetheless important. So this is how it works. You have a traumatic experience. You watch a parent, assault another parent, or you witness some type of trauma in your community. You have to make sense of that experience and why it's occurring. Particularly if it's close to you or in your family system in some way, shape, or form, you're going to basically ask yourself a question. The question is this: when this happened to me, or when I witnessed this thing, what does or what did it mean about me? And then you'll assign an I statement to it. You'll assign a thing like, I am not good enough, I am stupid, I deserve bad things, I'm not in control, I cannot succeed. And you take that negative statement and you tattoo it on your heart very deeply, extremely deeply. So much so that from that point forward, you actually start to walk out into the world and believe that negative statement at a kind of a deep level. The reality of that is that statement is absolutely false. 100% false. Those statements of I am not good enough, I am a failure, are absolutely not true. But when you get angry in your current life, what's happening is the situation at hand is reminding you of that feeling or that thought, which produces a feeling, and you get angry or frustrated or irritated with your spouse as a way to keep that down, as a way to suppress the reality of believing that lie. In my estimation, millions upon millions upon millions of people are believing these lies every day. They walk around with it. It's what drives a lot of the passive-aggressive behavior you see in businesses or just the cyclical behavior that people find. When you think about the times when you've got angry, frustrated, the cyclical behavior that you find yourself in terms of job performance or relationships, what you find is that you have been repetitively engaging in a deep level some of these negative thoughts. If you go on my website, you can find information about a list of all of these thoughts. There's also an article that I wrote about this in many regards, and the website's www.allabouttrauma.com. And I can't remember exactly where it is in the website, but if you search around, you'll find it. Very helpful information. The first step is to undo the lies, to become aware of the lie. And then the second step is to tell yourself the truth every day, which is on the other side of this piece of paper that is on the website, this document that's on the website. You cannot tell yourself the truth enough about yourself. Why? Because the culture you live in is going to basically tell you the opposite, that you're not good enough until you buy these things.